I let time go lightly when I'm here with you. I let time go lightly when the day is through. I keep a watch on time when I've got work to do. But I let time go lightly with you. Home, a time for breaking ground and sowing seed, and yet we give up our sunshine.
Hi, welcome to Conversations with History. My name is Greg Norman, your host. We're talking with a bit of history here today, and James VanTine, a longtime Ortonville resident who is a farmer by trade, and you've been in this community, or your family's been in this community since 1834.
Way back. Hey, 16. When the family been in the farm? 1836. The deed was made. Van Buren signed it.
President Van Buren of the United States presidency signed it.
Yeah.
That's
he was only in 2 years, and another fellow. I don't remember her name.
You've been a farmer your whole life. We've obviously lived in this area your entire life. I guess to start with, there is a certain belief that farmers did pretty well. Talk to farmers, they tell you they didn't do well, and those who were in business in town.
It's that way all the way. In Germantown, there's some farmers that was doing well, and others just trying to get along. But the crops is changed prices a lot. Wheat used to be a good crop. That's what we paid for it. If we bought an extra farm after first year we was married. Paid for that in a hurry.
You've been married to your lovely bride for 62 years. You spent your whole life in Ortonville.
Yep, on the farm.
And we talk a little bit about being a farmer versus maybe coming into town and being a suburbanite, as it were. From that standpoint, what was life? What was life? You're 90 years old. What was life like on the farm for you growing up?
Well, I didn't have any toys.
Why?
Way back I didn't have toys. You had a little box to carry along, and now the kids were buried in toys. Didn't have toys. And for Christmas, you wouldn't get, maybe you'd get a sled for Christmas, and maybe you'd get a dish of candy or something. West Clock watch, which is cost $1, something like that.
Dish of candy on a sled's not a terribly bad Christmas, but
no, I never know bad Christmas. So I said, well, it's good.
What did you primarily farm? What was your
crop?
Corn.
Wheat. Used to be wheat, and then wheat, oats, and corn, and now we raise soybeans too.
You're in your 6th, 7th generation. Farmers, the VanTine farm has been working.
Yep.
How has the farm changed since when you were a child to now? What's changed? You said early on that you started with 80 acres, and now you're up over 300.
We started with 2 horses, 2 old horses, and then we got tractors. Now we got, I don't know how many tractors we got. Combine, son, he fits right in. Good combine, backhoes.
Well, obviously the farm has been more automated. There's more equipment to do stuff.
But we got the only farm in Oakland County, only dairy farm in Oakland County.
All right.
Oakland County. Cook has an ice cream place. Sell it right to the farm.
You're the only working dairy farm in Oakland County.
But this is ours is the only dairy farm that the relic picks up with the Michigan milk we sell to.
Well, give me an example of what is different from your time as an early farmer to now. I mean, I know there's more equipment. You the same? Is it the kind of, you put the same kind of hours in that you did maybe when you started?
No, the hours are not designated. Hours can be you can put in 15-hour days.
No, I understand farmers work long hours.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. What I'm saying is, how is it different when you were a young man farming your farm today, mechanically? And what were the challenges in your day, and maybe what are the challenges today that are different?
Well, there isn't any farmers now.
No, but on your farm, you're still working farm now. On your farm now, what was different when you were a young man? What was hard about farming?
I always milked cows. The farm we bought, Madeline and I bought together, is only a half a mile from the other farm. But I always went up and milked cows. So we kept we used raise chicken.
You physically hand milk cows in those days?
My wife hand milked too.
And now you don't do that. Obviously,
no,
now there's automation.
Everything machinery now.
What's faster, new machines or milking them by hand?
Oh, machines is the one.
How many cows did you have in those days?
Oh, well, when I started out, there was only 4 or 5 cows.
What do you have now?
Oh, well, we got about 160 head, young cattle and all.
How much milk does 160 cattle produce?
Well, we only milk about 50 or 60 or 70. We get about 3 tons every 2 days.
3 tons?
3 tons every 2 days.
How many gallons is that? Just curious.
Well, you figure it out something when you have time. Okay. And then right now we have then milk tanks came in. First milk vat.
What's a vat?
Well, just a container with a cover over it. That was a milk. Everybody used to have a dairy, have cans setting up by the road. But then they did away with that. But they don't. Now your milk has to be right down to when they're freezing. Then when the tanks come in, they call them tanks. a lot of farmers give up then. They give up then.
Too much money?
Yeah, they wouldn't go for the changeover because milk cans before it. And so that's now we got a 1,000-gallon tank now.
Did you pasteurize your own milk?
No, we don't pasteurize.
So you would take in your early days, you would take your milk to.
Our milk comes from Clio. Trucker comes from Clio. He stops once in Goodrich, once to our place, once over another. He has about 20 miles between stops.
And that's what did they do the same in 50 years ago? Did they do the same thing?
He comes every other day.
So
to our place.
So you would sell your milk to them.
So Michigan milk goes into the dairy in Flint right now. He goes around Lapeer County and comes back to Flint.
Do you know where your milk ends up in terms of does it end up at McDonald's or does it end up
McDonald and Flint? That's right now. Which is Michigan milk. They're owned by Michigan milk.
Because of all of we've heard lots of stories about cows and what we feed them and those kinds of things. Are cows producing more milk today, or is it all the same?
They have some farmers keep track of the milk, and we don't keep track of the weight at all. Cows do. And let's see. Right now, our milk before it leaves the farm he takes a sample. Yes, every truck has to have. You meet a truck on the road has to have a sample of your milk. Under a lock has to be locked.
Wow. Those are federal regulations.
Federal. And if an officer stops him with a truck and if he doesn't have a lock, then he's disqualified. He's done. We're tested for butter fat, or dirt, or salmonic cells, and we're tested for everything. All kind of antibiotics.
Now we should mention that your farm, VanTine Farm, is located out behind Wojo, out in that end of the park, Ortonville, correct?
Right.
And like we said earlier, you've been there for a long time.
Always been milk.
What was your, when you were younger, younger farmer, what was your favorite part of farming as a young man?
I don't know. I mean, that's all I knew was farming.
I know, but what, you'd wake, I mean, your dad farmed, obviously, and your grandfather farmed, and you spent your life as a farmer, but what did you like about it?
Just your own boss. Your own boss.
You decided to want to come in at 2 o'clock, you came in at 2 o'clock.
Milk when you want to get ready. Go to dances afterwards and all that stuff.
What was the bad part of farming?
Bad part? I don't know. I don't blame it. It was a lot of.
Well, maybe not necessarily the bad part. What was the hard part about farming? What did you find the hardest?
Oh, steady, and there wasn't as much money in it.
So is it a myth that farmers had money? Is that a myth?
No, it used to be milk. It isn't now anymore. Milk is the lowest it's ever been, right now. But it's the highest in the store it's ever been.
Really?
So the government's running.
Wow, I would never realize that.
And there's so much milk now that they're trying to cut down. They want us to slaughter our cattle. Because of big thousand cow herds now, and they say that we're causing the shortage, so they want us. They think they're going to cut it down by slaughtering the small cattle.
There's always been stories about farmers having the property paid for by not planting crops.
Well, there was a time that it was kind of that way, but it's not now. Not now.
Can you be a successful? Well, obviously you have, but can you be a real successful farmer in Michigan?
No, I'm not. End up with a lot of money. No, you don't.
Talk a little bit about your family. All your sons and grandsons and granddaughters and stuff are involved in the farm, or some of them are?
No. The one grandson worked for Detroit Diesel for 7 years. He just got enough of that. Colored and all. He had his own office, and all at once he decided he didn't want it. Had 2 cars stolen during that time, but on the farm he's contented.
Who's working your farm right now? Your family's still working the farm.
Yeah.
And who would that be? That'd be your sons?
Sons and grandsons and us. We're all
pitch in still?
Yeah.
How many children did you have?
2 children.
And
we got 7 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. But we only have 3 children of our own.
All boys? Girls and boys?
First one was a girl, and then next was a boy, and then our youngest boy had an accident in '65. He doesn't help too much.
In your early farming days, there were a lot of farms in this area.
Yeah.
Even smaller farms, but there were still a lot of farms. And one by one, those farms have disappeared.
Right.
Why? Why do you think?
They couldn't make a living on that, and the property got valuable. It's selling with covered houses now.
Well, I'm going to take a little break right here, and we're going to be back in a couple seconds. We're going to talk about Hadley Hills a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Detroit Urban Railroad, if you have some recollection. Greg Norman back with History of Conversation. We're talking with Mr. VanTine, James VanTine, a longtime Ortonville farmer. We're talking a little bit about you're a former Ortonville High School graduate. We talk a lot about that in the area. Most of the folks in this series are seniors who went to the school. Your wife Madeline, who was a longtime surgical nurse, mentioned that the milk depot was right around the senior citizen building. Yeah. Where was it located? It was located just a corner ways from. You could see it from the school here. So it was where the baseball fields are now. Used to bring milk down in cans every day, every morning. And that was the. And then they go in, dump it into the washer, and then it goes out. What do you remember about your high school days? You're a proud 1932 graduate of Ortonville High School. Yeah, I graduated in '32. What do you remember about your high school days? What do you remember about the school? I remember, the banks closed in 29. Remember that? I read about it. I lost all my money. I had 75 cents in the bank or something like that. And you lost 75 cents? $75. But you lost it all.
And so our milk check, we had to truck our milk to Pontiac in order to get the milk check. And then the milk check came, so the banks was all closed. And then they'd pay you right from there.
How long was the milk depot in town? How long was it here?
Oh, that's always been here. It's always been here. And the railroad was right by the schoolhouse here.
Now, we talked to folks who remember the Detroit Urban Railroad, but you actually rode it.
You know what?
You actually rode the Detroit Urban Railroad.
Yes, I rode it. Used to ride it to Oxford for 10 cents.
That's all?
10 cents.
Wow. Was it a bumpy ride?
No, it went right by our 2 miles from my farm, going to Oxford, then to Flint.
It was a main mode of transportation.
Yes.
And what some people
electric.
That's what I was going to say.
You'd see, from our place, you'd always see the flashing of a trolley with the ice storm, especially in Video cars going.
Was it used a lot? Was it a main mode of transportation for people around?
Oh yeah.
So it was usually full.
And cars and freight. It was freight too.
Oh, it carried freight.
Freight, sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Went right through Ortonville, right by the schoolhouse here.
You rode it a lot as a young man then.
Yeah.
You're the first person we talked to who rode it. Was it a smooth ride?
We had a teacher that lived in Oxford. She always come up here. So she rode. And then another lady who lived one stop going to Oxford, Miss Bird. She'd always ride the car.
How much to ride into Flint? Still 10 cents?
15 cents, 15 cents.
So it was really cheap transportation.
Yeah.
What do you remember about the depot?
Depot?
Mm-hmm. The train depot.
There used to be a free movie picture on the free outside moving picture. Free.
Really?
That's why I first date I had with my wife.
Where was that?
Right downtown. The depot was on one side and the milk station's on the other side.
And where was the movie?
Oh, I don't remember. Didn't pay much attention to the movie.
Oh. Now the other thing we've discovered is there used to be a mill pond in town. There used to be an actual lake in downtown Ortonville.
Used to be a what?
Mill pond, big lake.
Oh yeah, mill pond. Yeah. I've skated down the mill pond. Then when the dam went out, the electricity was first came around Ortonville. Our dynamo was in Ortonville, in the dam down there, to the mill. And what I remember most of being with my dad. We went to this, and he was putting wooden cogs on the wheel, on the drive wheel. Had the wheel up there, and I remember seeing the water down below.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about Hadley Hills,
yeah,
which I understand was a bit of a German,
couple 3 miles north of us.
Kind of a small community of folks.
All Germans.
What do you remember about Hadley Hills?
Hadley Hills. It was, we used to get our grain separator used to come up the hill and do ours. He was a hard-working man, thrasher, had a farm, but he never got ahead. But the other Germans around there seemed to make it big. It was tricky.
Hadley Hills was also a place you went for entertainment. Am I correct?
No. No, we went to dances downtown in Oxford, and what's the one up north there?
Good.
We used to go. No, yeah, there used to be dances in Goodrich. We socialed a lot.
Did you? What were your hobbies? What were you and your wife's hobbies in the early part?
Oh, we liked to dance. Never got drunk.
Never got drunk.
Never smoked. I
bought
bought him one night, and the boys I used to go to dances with us light up a cigar, and they'd have the car all smoked up, and I'd always end up with a headache, and I had the milk the next morning. So I liked to dance, liked music. Always had music. I played trumpet. Used to play in a dance orchestra.
Really?
We had town hall filled with people.
In
Play all night for $5.
That's pretty cool. In what used to be the old hotel downtown.
The old hotel, yeah, that burnt down.
Right.
I got a picture of it in the book there, but it's nobody knows what it even the fellow that's got the pizza place don't know what the hotel looks like. I got a picture of it there.
Where was your favorite place to eat in Ortonville when you were a young man?
Oh, we didn't eat much. Well, we'd go to a hotel to eat, get a sandwich between dances, in the intermission or something like that. Yeah. But we never younger. We didn't go out to eat an awful lot.
Your off time as a farmer was probably in the winter time. Obviously, you didn't do an awful lot in the winter. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, well, I cut wood for furnace. I used to go across the field with my dad have a saw over his shoulder, and we'd cut down. Let's go to hickory.
Why?
I see lots of trees that I like to cut. And we'd cut it down, the two of us, and then he'd cut it up during the week.
Why hickory?
Hickory? Oh, hard.
It burn?
Hard, baby.
That it would also burn better?
Yeah.
Never knew that either.
We still got the woods. We just he'd walk through, and most time he's walking through the snow. And my mother always hit the dinner bell when it's dinner time. We used to have dinner then. We don't have dinner anymore.
Nobody eats together anymore. What time was dinner? What time was dinner time at your house?
What time was that?
What time was dinner at your house?
Well, we had dinner at noon.
Oh, at noon.
Yeah. When we used to have boys help with the hay and what? Oh, metal noise. Had a big dinner. They'd come work for us just for the eats.
So the big meal of the day is at noon, and that wasn't later in the day.
And then when you go thrashing, we always thrash for the neighbors. You take about 16 wagons to go, and they most generally had me with a wagon and a team because I was smaller. So I was pitch on it.
Can you explain what thrashing is?
Thrashing? Mm-hmm. When you thrash grain, that's grain.
Well, I don't think a lot of people would even know what that is. That's
bundles.
You'd use a big knife, big huge sickle.
Well, no, we it was all cut and chopped up.
Okay.
Bundles of stuff. Then when we trash big bundles of grain or loads.
I have a question completely unrelated to what we're talking about. When was you remember owning your first car?
First
your first car?
Car? Yeah.
Remember what your first car was?
Yeah. It was a 34 Pontiac. Paid $400 for it. You sedan. But then fellow said, been over the roughest road in Michigan over the blacks. I'm gonna prove it, Graham.
One of the questions I ask some of the folks that I've interviewed so far for this series is that when you make a life choice, you've lived in Ortonville your whole life. You lived with the same
on the farm.
Yeah, but I'm saying you made a choice somewhere as a person not to leave Ortonville to stay here.
No, we always stayed there.
No, I know that, but what I'm your wife and you have spent. What's special about Ortonville to you?
There's we used to come here for groceries and implements. Remember, Dad bought a dealer that I'd never been to. His name was what I tell you, his name was bought a hay rake and a hay loader from a dealer I'd never been into. And the harness shop was upstairs, downstairs. But now I forgot what we were talking about.
I was just asking you, what's special to you about Ortonville? What?
I don't know. That's where my school was.
Okay. Well, let me ask a better question. What's special about the farm to you? What's in your heart? What's really special about the farm?
Farming. Own boss. Your own boss. I never even thought about it. I went to the shop and during the war, because I was on the class that just said stay at home and work, produce food. But they let us go to shop for 4 months in the winter. Pontiac, on Pontiac Motor. But I didn't like that. Didn't like it.
You like being your own boss and staying out?
My son tried to shop one time. He didn't like it either.
Being a farmer is a very special job.
It's you have to know, have to have a lot of equipment, and what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, I've been on the school board.
On the Grand Ortonville.
Yeah, when this school was here, I was on the school board when it was on this ground. Then it was tore down by the next center. He came along and tore it down. And then my plaque in the new school up there too.
It was Ortonville High School for a long time.
Yeah.
They changed it to Brandon.
Brandon, yeah.
You were on the school board then?
No, I don't know the change.
Did changing the name bother you?
No. We took in a bigger area. Lots of buses and everything. No, everything is different than that. Then we've been Masonic and Stars. My wife was a matron and I was patron the same year. That was in '57. Way back. Were you born then?
Yes.
Oh.
I was around in those days. Yes, I was. I was young, but I was still around.
Let's see, what else is it? Oh, we're always mixed up with something.
We appreciate you talking with us today.
Yeah.
I want to thank you and your wife for coming in.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the insight and some of the stories you've told. And hopefully that'll be inspiring to a few of those other folks who are going to watch the program. So thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
Like the hours to go lightly with you. I let time go lightly when I'm here.